What's up guys, my name is Tom and welcome back to the FPL Centre. Time for the Game Week 15 fixture breakdown, and as always we'll run through the key upcoming fixtures from an FPL perspective and try and identify who could be in line to benefit from some of the more glaring opposition weaknesses. We'll also take a quick look at my team selection as it stands heading into the midweek set of fixtures. If you like the content I'm doing here on both FPL and the Fantasy Champions League game, make sure to give the video a thumbs up and get yourself subscribed if you haven't already. Make sure to hit that notification bell as well so you know when the latest video drops. But yeah, let's get straight into it. First up is the Tuesday night game between Watford and Man City at Vicarage Road. All eyes will be on the City team sheet for this one, as Sergio Aguero was left out of the squad in Game Week 14 due to a muscular problem, and with such a short turnaround it may be that Game Week 15 comes too soon for the Argentinian to recover in time. Over the last 6 game weeks, City ranked second for big chances created and second for generating shots in the opposition area, with only Chelsea ahead of them in both of those categories, but no team has scored more goals than the 19 that Guardiola's side have managed over that period. Watford meanwhile have generated the 10th most shots inside the opposition area over the last 6 games and have managed to create the joint 5th most big chances with 15, just one fewer than Bournemouth and Spurs have managed over that period. However, with a chance created every 8.4 minutes, Watford hold the 5th worst ratio in the league there. This is unlikely to improve very much for Watford in Game Week 15, as they come up against a City defence that has only allowed 6 big chances to be created against them over the last 6 game weeks. No team has allowed fewer. City are also the second best defence in the league when it comes to limiting opposition shots from inside their penalty box over that period, with only Liverpool giving up fewer. The Hornets on the other hand have conceded the 6th fewest shots in the box over the last 6 game weeks, a period which includes a few relatively easy fixtures, but also a 4-0 home loss to Bournemouth and a 3-0 home loss to Liverpool, indicating that the better attacking sides don't find it too difficult to break them down, particularly at Vicarage Road where Watford are perhaps more inclined to push forward. Watford concede most of the crosses delivered against them from the left wing, and they concede the most chances from both flanks too, meaning that this one could be another big game for the Leroy Sané to Raheem Sterling combination, of course assuming both start and unless Riyad Mahrez becomes the beneficiary there. My score prediction here is Watford 0, Man City 2. Next up we'll take a look at the Wednesday night game at Turf Moor where Burnley host Liverpool. Over the last 6 game weeks, Liverpool ranked joint 6th for big chances created with 13, tied with Newcastle and Southampton there, but they've only managed to generate the 9th most shots in the box during that same period, and it's certainly surprising they rank so low when you consider that they faced the likes of Huddersfield, Cardiff and Fulham across that span of games. Still, they have managed to score 11 goals over the last 6 games, which is the 4th highest in the league for that period. Burnley on the other hand have been awful of late, and they rank as the worst team in the league for both big chances created and shots generated in the opposition area over the last 6, with no team producing fewer in both categories, and only Crystal Palace have scored fewer goals across that stretch of games. And the worst attacking side in the league in Burnley comes up against one of the best defensive sides in the league here, as Liverpool have allowed the 2nd fewest big chances to be created against them over the last 6 game weeks, and no team has allowed fewer shots in the box to be taken against them over that period than Jurgen Klopp's side. Burnley themselves have conceded the most big chances in the league, and they've given up the most shots in the box to opposition teams over the last 6 games, ensuring that they rank as the worst defensive team in the league as well as the worst attacking team. Burnley allow a high number of crosses to be delivered from both wings, but the majority come from the left wing. Similarly, they concede a very high number of chances from every area of the pitch, but by far the most are given up on the right wing. So an Andrew Robertson to Mohamed Salah combination is very much on the cards here, but honestly Burnley are so bad I wouldn't even be surprised if Alisson managed to get on the scoresheet. My score prediction here is Burnley 0, Liverpool 4. Next up is probably the biggest of the midweek games as Manchester United host Arsenal at Old Trafford on Wednesday night. Mourinho's side have created 20 big chances over the past 6 game weeks, tied with Man City there as the joint 2nd most in the league, and only Chelsea have created more. The home side are not quite as effective at generating shots in the box though, as they've managed just the 8th most in the league, tied with Newcastle on 49. Arsenal have only created 9 big chances over that same period, that's the 4th fewest in the league and less than half the number United have managed, and they've also generated 2 less shots from inside the penalty box with 47, tied with Liverpool there in joint 9th. Defensively, United have allowed the joint 4th most big chances to be created against them over the last 6 game weeks, as well as the 5th most shots in the box to be taken against them. As a result, they've conceded 9 goals over that stretch of fixtures, meaning they can definitely be considered as a bottom 5 defensive unit in the league. Arsenal have been slightly better when it comes to the defensive side of the game, but not by much, as over the last 6 they've allowed 12 big chances to be created against them, just 2 fewer than United, but they are much better at limiting the number of shots opposition teams take from within their penalty area, as the 43 they've conceded over the last 6 is the 8th fewest in the league. Anthony Martial could be in line to benefit for the home side, as Arsenal concede the majority of chances on the left wing, where the Frenchman generally lines up for United. And on the other side of things, United also concede the majority of their chances from the left wing, where Aubameyang could line up if Lacazette is back in the central striker role. My score prediction here is Manchester United 2, Arsenal 2. Finally, we'll take a look at the Wednesday night game where Spurs host Southampton at Wembley, in a game where Harry Kane may find himself owned by a few more FPL managers, as he stands out as one of the best captaincy options in Game Week 15. Spurs have created 16 big chances over the last 6 games, joint 4th most in the league, tied with Bournemouth, and Pochettino's men have managed to generate 50 shots in the box, which is the 7th most, but still ahead of the likes of Liverpool and Arsenal there. Southampton, on the other hand, have actually managed to generate one more shot from inside the opposition penalty area during that spell, with 51, and they've created 3 fewer big chances than Spurs over the last 6, tied with Liverpool on 13. Defensively, Spurs have conceded the 4th fewest big chances over the last 6 game weeks, with 10, and they've allowed the 10th most shots in the box to be taken against them. Although with Vertonghen now back in contention, it will be interesting to see if this improves in the coming weeks. The Saints have conceded the 6th most big chances over that same period, as well as giving up the 4th most shots in the box to opponents over the last 6. Southampton have also conceded the 3rd most goals over that stretch of games. The Saints also play into Spurs' hands by allowing the majority of crosses to be delivered against them from the right wing, where Spurs deliver over 60% of the crosses into the box. And Mark Hughes' side also concede the majority of chances in central areas, meaning a big game for Harry Kane is definitely a possibility here, with Spurs also creating the majority of their chances in central areas. My score prediction here is Spurs 3, Southampton 0. So this is the team selection as it stands, and just keep in mind that Harry Kane there is a placeholder for now, as I am looking at getting him in for Aguero, but it's not been confirmed. I have not finalised any transfers at this point, and you'll have to keep an eye on my Twitter at FPL Centre for my final Game Week 15 team before the deadline. Fabianski will hold his place in the starting lineup for West Ham's home game against Cardiff, with Patricio on the bench there. In defence, we'll line up with 3 at the back this week, as Alonso, Dean and Alexander-Arnold all have decent fixtures in Game Week 15. Wan-Bissaka will be set as our first sub, and Doherty will be dropping to the second bench spot. In midfield, we'll have Brooks in a nice home fixture against Huddersfield. Martial keeps his place, with Hazard and Sterling also in relatively good fixtures there, despite being away from home. And Hazard may be transferred out for the likes of Sane, but as I said, nothing finalised yet, so keep an eye on Twitter. And up front, it's Marco Arnautovic and Callum Wilson who will most likely partner Harry Kane, as he's the most likely option I'll be bringing in for Sergio Aguero, who I'm almost certainly selling. The captaincy is currently on Sterling, as no transfers have been made, like I say, and he has a nice individual matchup against Watford, but obviously if I do decide to bring in Harry Kane, he would most likely get the armband in that case for Spurs' home game against Southampton. Make sure you do follow me on Twitter at FPL Centre to keep up with the transfers I do make, and I'll post the updated team before the deadline. So there we go guys, if you liked the video make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you want to keep up with what I'm doing here at the FPL Centre, and make sure to hit that notification bell as well when you do, so you know when the latest video drops. Let me know in the comments if you're going to make any big changes to your team heading into Game Week 15. Good luck in Game Week 15 though guys, that's all from me today, thanks for watching.